Hello and welcome to Interviews from My Hometown. My name is Seth Gamble, and today we have Seth. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So, Seth, could you give a brief description about yourself?
No, probably couldn't.
Okay.
It'd be struggle to keep it brief. I'm 17. I've lived in Wenatchee probably 9 years, I think, this summer. Grew up in Ellensburg. I'm a magician. And that's probably as brief as I can be.
All right. So that answers my next question of how long you've lived in the Wenatchee area for.
There you go.
So your hometown was Ellensburg, right?
That's right.
Okay. So what was the early life for you in Ellensburg? I'm talking like kind of like how the town ran, how extracurricular activities and stuff were around there.
So it's a ranching town. It's a farm town. So I grew up on a farm. We lived on a farm. Cows, mules, miniature donkeys, turkeys, chickens, so many cats. We had some dogs. Extracurricular activities would be like 4-H and stuff like that. But yeah, and then I moved after 4th grade. So.
All right. Nice. Let me ask you about your family and who they are and how they have impacted your life.
Well, my parents have impacted my life a lot. They actually gave me my life, which is pretty cool. So my dad is the GM at Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort, Mission Ridge. My mom is a piano teacher. I have an older brother who is almost 21. He's married. And then I have a younger sister who is 15.
All right. Nice. What do you like to do on a daily basis?
I love reading. I love spending a lot of time sitting and reading a good book. I love to cook. So I love having freedom to just make food and create and cook a lot of food. I always have a deck of cards in my hands. I'm always shuffling. I need something to feed it with.
Yeah.
All the time. But I love to read. I love to cook. I love being outdoors, going on hikes, going on walks. I love to walk. It's one of my favorite things probably. It's just a nice long walk. Really slow. I'm a slow walker.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when we're not in a quarantine setting where I can't sit down with people, what do you like to do around town? What are your favorite spots around town to be at?
I love going down by the river. I love just walking down by the river. I love hanging out down there. There's some beaches down there I like to call hobo beaches, and I love to just go hang out with the hobos and talk, and they're not affected by quarantine. So like if you don't have a home to go to, you hang out down by the river, and I like to go down and talk to people down there, spend time down there investing in people. You can bring them food. One guy asked me for shampoo. I didn't have shampoo, and now I carry shampoo with me always.
Awesome.
So fun stuff like that. I love going down by the river. I also like walking through the downtown area with the old houses, Franklin Street down there. Those are the spots.
Awesome. So one thing that I personally feel you can tell a lot by a person through is their music taste. So what would you say your music taste is on a day-to-day basis?
My music taste, what would I say about it? I'd say it's excellent. No. Like what genres do I listen to?
Yeah. Bands, genres.
I hit a very, very broad scope on day to day. I would say I probably like folk rock kind of would be like the centerpiece, but I go all ends.
Okay.
I love listening to country music. I like listening to rap. I like listening to gospel music. I like listening to old music, new music, all the musics.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question. If you say you listen to all of it if you listen to country too.
Oh yeah.
That's usually where it stops for most people. Is oh, I listen
See,
to everything but country.
since I grew up listening to country on a
Yeah.
farm, so I grew up in that.
All right. So, this is kind of getting into the more personal, serious questions. What is something you're curious about right now?
Something I am curious about right now.
Yeah.
I am awestruck, I think, and I marvel like every day at how God is using something like a virus and how God is using his people being separated and quarantined to unite people and to bring people together. I think it's amazing and it's so cool how physical separation is leading to spiritual unity. And everyone in the world is united right now because everyone is experiencing the virus. And I think, yeah, I'm so curious and I'm so mesmerized and awestruck to think, like, I can't wait to be 10 years, 20 years, 50 years down the road looking back and being like, wow, look at what God did through the coronavirus. Because it's hard to see right now. And I'm really curious, but it's amazing.
Yeah. I completely agree. That's been something that I've been struggling to realize, um, just how much I've been doing with other people without being with other people.
It's
Um,
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
Um, what's something you wish you would have known when you started living in Wenatchee?
About Wenatchee or about just anything?
Anything. Yeah.
I wish I'd realized off the bat how unique and cool Wenatchee is seasonally. Like end of the year or begin like spring, you can ski, mountain bike, and water ski. Like you can ski and water ski in the same day in Wenatchee. Like it's so cool the way it lands in the middle of the seasons. You have these high mountains and the river, and it's just amazing. And I wish I'd known that off the bat. It didn't take years to realize like I can actually mountain bike down from a skiing and then go swimming all on the same day. Like it's so cool. Wenatchee's awesome.
Yeah. Um, what's something that most people underestimate about you?
About me, you'd have to
Yeah.
ask other people. Um,
What do you
what do
think most people underestimate about you?
what do I think people underestimate? This question probably gets either really serious answers like they don't think I'm responsible enough, or people don't think I'm trustworthy, or it gets like really lighthearted answers. What do I think people? I don't think about that a lot. Um, People are always shocked when I tell them how many pencils I can fit in my hair without you seeing them. Like people would never expect that I could fit 17, 18 pencils in this, and you wouldn't be able to see one of them. But so I guess that's my answer because like I just don't give much thought to like what other people are thinking about who I am. I
I,
guess.
I like that. That's a good one. What's the best compliment someone's given you then?
Wow. Someone told me that I reminded them of their grandpa,
Wow.
and then they gave uh, a detailed description of how much they love their grandfather, and I was like, man, that's a pretty good compliment. Like the way I like look at my grandparents to look at someone and say like you remind me of my grandpa, like I'll take that any day. That's probably the one that's the most recent and also the one I remember the most. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a really good one. Um, so one thing that I personally do with my show is I have this term. I'm not sure if it's the right term, but I have this term. It's called a Wenatcheeite. It's a person who lives and breathes Wenatchee. I'm not sure if that's the actual term, that you're supposed to use. I don't know if it's Wenatchitonian or something like that. But what does being a Wenatchee mean to you?
It means caring and it means being invested.
Could you expand
It
on that?
means, yeah, it's not just a shallow, I live in Wenatchee. You're taking the word live and you're making it deep. You're adding depth to it. You're saying, I live in Wenatchee and I actually care about Wenatchee. And the homeless people on the streets, I care about them. The poor people, I care about them. Like the little things, the garbage on the streets, like I care about that and I'm gonna pick that up. It's it's taking time to actually realize where you're living and to look at the mountains and say, like, this is a blessing. I don't deserve to live here. Like, and I think it's recognizing the blessing and the beauty of Wenatchee, and then it's investing in the people and the places in Wenatchee.
That's a really interesting answer. Most people, when they answer that question, their go-to thing is community, and I think you really expanded upon that community aspect. It's not just cruising up and down the avenue; it's everyone else that doesn't get that chance to do that too. That's a really good one. Um, so one thing I love to do with my show is I let the guest become the interviewer, and I'll be answering the questions. So
Mm-hmm.
Seth, do you have any questions for me as a person who's lived in Wenatchee all my life? It doesn't have to be about Wenatchee. It can just be a general question like what is my favorite color or something.
Well, why don't you start with your favorite color? Give me a second to think.
uh, I'd probably have to go just purple. I'm a huge Huskies fan, so that's I went to Eastmont, so I really shouldn't say that, but that's what I gotta come down to.
Mhm. All right, I got one. Let me formulate this for a few more seconds. How are you currently in these times, in this situation, balancing the desire to help people and the order to stay away from people?
um, so that's a hard one for me because I've had to continue to go to work on a daily basis. I still have to work my full-time job and then come home and be told to stay at home. Um, before all this, I was an intern at Sage Hills Church, and I worked with the youth department almost exclusively. And it was really cool to get to see those kids grow and move in Jesus. And I I've been helping a lot with trying to move what we did on a Wednesday night into an electronic session through our phones. Or film a video that's me with a camera right here talking about a sermon that I wrote or something like that. Um, but I've also been trying to get people's stories out. Everyone that lives in this town has their own story.
Mhm.
Whether they want to share it or not is on to them, and that's what I've been trying to do with this show of interviews from my hometown.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think this is great. I think this is clever. I think doing the interviews is a cool way of pulling people together, even though
Mhm.
we're all stuck in our own homes. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You think it's making a difference?
Yes, I do. Um, I think people see kind of that I'm trying to get stories out, and they're liking the stories. I had my dad on because I still live with him, so I was able to do a live episode with him, and people were just hysterically laughing, and they said it's been the hardest they've laughed since quarantine, and that really made me feel good. So I
Yeah,
do.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, that's my question. That's it.
That's all right. So the way I love to end the show is I usually ask the guest to come with a joke, but since you have such an amazing skill, could you do a trick for us?
You're sure you want that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. Let me show you one that should work over the camera. Grab a deck of cards and all right. Let's just play a card game real quick.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trust the guy with the cards, the magician, to be mostly fair, and we're gonna play a fun little card game. There we go. So, how many people are playing our game? Is it just me and you, or do you want to add some other invisible players?
Let's just do me and you for the sake of the show.
No problem. I'm just gonna make sure these cards are mixed up. Perfect. Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. Right here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 aces right on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, remember, you said bottom. That wasn't me. That was all
Yeah.
you. Okie dokie. Now, we're playing a card game, so I'm going to deal the cards out to 2 piles, but first we're going to get rid of the aces. Remember these aces because the person who gets the most aces in their hand is going to be the winner.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to put one about here in the deck, one about here, one about here, and one about there. So you can see the 4 aces are spread out pretty evenly throughout the deck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to also, once I push them in, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shuffle so that we can
Be fair about it.
make sure they're really lost. Yeah, because this is going to be kind of random. It's just fun. And whoever gets the most, they're going to be the person who wins.
Yeah.
Just going to make sure these are thoroughly shuffled. And I want to do this in front of the camera so it's kind of obvious that cards are being shuffled. They're being mixed. They're mixed about as thoroughly as I can mix them. And that's pretty thoroughly because I practice, a lot. So here we go. You can see these top cards. I'm just going to show them to you, but I'm not going to look, so I'm grabbing like the top. There's no aces in there, right?
No.
Okay, do you want me to cut the deck again, or do you want me to deal?
I'll trust you. Deal. Go ahead.
Deal?
Yeah.
Now remember, whoever gets the most aces wins.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to deal your cards. Can you see that?
Yep.
Right there? And I'm going to deal my cards right here.
Okay.
You, me, you, me, you, me. So now we each have 4 cards. The rest of the deck's going to go right here. These are your cards. Go ahead and check them out. Do you have any aces?
No, I don't.
Now, the reason I only dealt 4 is because I showed you the top cards and there were no aces in them.
Yeah.
So there should be no aces in either of our hands.
Right.
But the reason I only dealt 4 is because all 4 aces.
What? Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
real quick, right here, watch this ace. Okay? You can see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to take it right here into this hand like that. And you're going to see it just disappear, kind of.
Yeah.
Watch this ace right here. We're going to take this. This is the ace of diamonds, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Ace of diamonds is going to go right here in the top of the deck. And then I'm just going to push it in like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes back over here. It's not actually the ace of diamonds. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's actually the jack. And that's a quick little trick that's going to work over camera. Hope you enjoyed that.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, and Seth, I thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show. It was really cool to get to sit and talk to you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for listening to Introduce My Hometown. Next week we have, who do we have? Andrea Torres from Sage Hills Church. So be prepared for that episode. And Seth, thank you for being on the show. Interviews from My Hometown is sound mixed by Seth Gamble, hosted by Seth Gamble, funded by Seth Gamble, and is produced by Hometown Productions. Music is by Pink on YouTube.